Hello everyone. Thanks for joining me today for another Fabulous Friday idea. Today's project will be using the Sending Smile stamp set, specifically just the sentiment Smiles Across the Miles, and the coordinating die to go with it. So I'm pairing it with the Zoo Crew paper. If this is something you want to see, then you need to stick around. The rest of the supplies that I am going to be using are the Stylish Shapes dies, and I'm going to be using this die. It is actually the third one from the middle, but I'm not using it as a square, so you're going to want to see how to do that. And then I'm using Pool Party ink. So for my card today, I need a piece of white that's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. I need a piece of the Zoo Crew paper, and it's got the stars on it, and it's this pattern, and that's 4 by 5 1/4. And then I need a scrap of the Zoo Crew and a scrap of white. The white's for my sentiment, and I've chosen this one because I'm going to use that image on my card. All right, so with that, let's get started. The first thing I want to do is I want to show you how to cut out, and I'm looking for my shape. Found it. I put it on the side of my desk and it blended right in. Does that tell you what shape my desk is in? Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to put this on this paper because this is the one I want, and I'm going to tape this in place. And it's important that you tape it because you don't want it to slip. Now, you're thinking, but that's going to cut his feet off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on my platform, and I've got to flatten my thing again. And I'm going to put the top plate, and I'm only... Excuse me. I'm going to put the top plate, and I've got to pull it down so I can get it on there. But I'm only going to go that far down. And because there's no plate down here, it won't cut that. So let me cut that part out. All right, and let me show you. I'm going to just take this off. And you have to be careful here because you don't want to rip your paper. But see, it only cut down that far. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to kind of play with it till I can get it to lock in. I may need to move it over here. But there's a way to lock it in. All right, so it's locked in there. Got to come down further. All right. And you'll know it's locked in. Oh, there it is. You'll know it's locked in. Well, I messed it up because it doesn't slide. See how I can easily slide this? All right. Usually I don't have this much trouble. It pops right in. There we go. All right. I'm gonna, all right, you can feel it kind of pop in. So now I'm going to put this on, and this time I'm going to put the plate down here because I want it to cut the bottom. We don't want to cut up there because we'll cut our elephant's head off. All right. Now you do have to kind of get it started and then push that top plate slightly. All right, so I didn't get it in there all the way. So here's what I'm gonna do. See how it should have popped in, but it didn't. So what I'm gonna do is this. I'm just gonna take my scissors and cut it. Usually I can feel it. This one was a little harder. I think it might be because it was pattern paper. Cardstock works really easy. Now, I will tell you, this has no support behind it for my card. So I'm going to take a scrap piece of paper, and And I thought I had one here, so let me get it. All right, now I need a piece that is 1 7/8 by 2 5/8. So let me cut it. All right, so I'm now going to attach this to there, and so let me get my glue. I've got a lot of dried glue at the top, so I'm going to take it off. And I'm just going to go around and do this and put that on there. And to make sure that it sticks, I'm going to put a block on top of it and set it over there. Now I'm going to take my scrap and I'm going to take Pool Party ink, because that's one of the ink, that's the ink on his banner there. And I'm going to ink this up. This is a great way to use your scraps for your sentiments like this. And I'm going to stamp it on here. And I'm not worried about it being straight because I'm going to use the die to cut it out. So let me do that. Okay, there we have it. So we're ready to get our card put together. So I'm going to take my card base and my panel, and I'm going to fold and burnish it. Now this piece is going to go on here like so. And that way we have a little decorative background, like so. Put it down. All right, now this piece is going to go on here, and I'm going to use some dimensionals. I have a bunch over here that are pieces that I had, excuse me, left over when I cut my pieces down off my the panel. So I'm going to use those so that I can use them up. Give me another one. I've got a bunch over here I'm trying to use because I don't want to lose them, and they will get buried on my desk. But these are the end pieces that you get when you cut your strips down. And see, it's this end, but it's mainly this end that I have. I have a lot of those. I like it also because then I can use that strip for you know, the edges of cards and things like that. All right, I'm putting an extra one in the middle. And now I'm going to take my pokey tool and take my backs off. That one didn't come. Neither did that one. Let me go back to it. Every once in a while I get one that doesn't want to cooperate. So I just keep picking at it till it either pops up and I can pull it with my hand. All right. So there we have him. And isn't he cute? And isn't that a great idea? And you really don't see that. If it bothers you, take your pokey tool and put a little hole there. And then I'm going to put this on, but I'm not going to put a dimensional on this end. I've got some small pieces here I can use. I'm going to do it on this end and kind of in the middle. I hope you guys all fared well in North Carolina. I'm going to put a little dab of glue on this end to hold it in place. And South Carolina, Florida, all those places, Georgia, that had the hurricane, that ended up being a tropical storm. We ended up with wind and rain, which I'm grateful for. We didn't lose electricity. Which I'm also grateful for. The development I live in, a lot of the people have generators. I do not. All right, so there we go. And this is really busy, so I'm not going to add any gems. So there's the outside of the card. And since I didn't have the stamp set, I went with just some simple dots in Pool Party and black to decorate the inside of the card and the envelope. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button below. I love sharing my ideas with you, and I don't want you to miss any of them. Have a fabulous Friday. Bye.